Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm just here to do a quick little video. I'm on my lunch break. I received a lot of questions about, the resort that I stayed at, the Breathless Soul in Cancun, Mexico. So I will start with, first things first. I booked Breathless Soul for $319-2022. Our checkout was $324 through 2022. My total was $3,382.38. Now, my room type was Allure Junior Suite, partial ocean view with a king bed. Now, if you see the video, that's what you're gonna see. I like my room. I thought my room was gonna be a little bit bigger, but overall, I was definitely satisfied with my room. Maid service was great. No issues with that. Now, let's see. I had a free shuttle service. They picked us up from the airport and they transported us back free of charge, which I thought that was a plus because I didn't have to pay any extra fees to have someone else transport us. And usually I pay around in between $30 to $75 for that. So I like the fact that they had a complimentary ride. Now again, I picked this resort because they said this resort was actually new. However, this resort is not a new resort. It's a new name, but it's not like a new resort. They said this resort opened in December of last year. Now, you could tell by some of the mishaps at the resort, like the cracks in the foundations and so on and so forth. It was probably one of those resorts that closed down and they just reopened it. So by any means, it's definitely not a new resort, but it is still a nice resort. There were a few floods, a few mishaps that happened on the first floor by the concierge desk. It was a little bit of flooding, but they took care of that immediately. I want to take the time to answer some of these questions that I was asked. How was the food was one of the main questions I keep receiving from people. Let me just tell you, the food was nothing to write home about. I was not impressed by the food. I think every time I've gone to Mexico, the food was just blah. It's food. It was something to get me through. You're never going to get authentic Mexican cuisine in Mexico, as far as I'm concerned. Unless you go to like Mexico City, I don't think you're going to get the kind of food that you think you're going to get. And I'm a foodie, so I'm going to give the food, from a 1 to 10, I'll probably give the food a 5. It was nothing to write home about. They had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 restaurants. They give you a nice little list like this when you get there of what's open and what's closed. They had one buffet. What was happening with the buffet, it'll go from one restaurant to another. So it was the same food. A lot of the restaurants there served the same exact food. But it was nothing to write home about. They had one club on the rooftop, which I didn't attend. I really wasn't interested. They definitely had a nice nightlife. They had live bands playing. They had fashion shows. It was definitely entertaining. Someone asked, did you have to make reservations for some of the restaurants? Yes. I did not. I just went to wherever was open and whatever it was I felt like eating. But yes, for some of them, you do have to make a reservation, and there's a dress code for the men, mainly, because, women, we could get away with wearing a little bit more, things, but men have to have I believe it was like a button-up or a polo for most of the restaurants. Reservation, what was the room type? I already talked about that. They did not ask me for a credit card. Once I checked in, they did not ask me for a credit card. Usually when you check in a hotel resort, they ask for a credit card to hold on file. They did not ask me for anything like that. They didn't ask me to upgrade my room, which I was surprised, because usually once you get to a resort, they ask you for your credit card, and then they ask you, hey, would you like to upgrade? But they didn't ask me, so I didn't upgrade. But I was prepared to. It was my husband's birthday. We were there for my husband's birthday. But I figured, what, our room is probably pretty good, so we didn't do that. There were no surprise charges. I already knew that upon leaving, you had to make an appointment to do the COVID testing, and I believe they charged $35 per person or something like that. And You don't pay immediately, you pay upon checkout. So I already knew about that coming into the trip, that I would have to pay for a COVID test. I actually thought the COVID test would be a lot more than $35. So that was that. Now, was there any Douce, if I'm saying it right, I'm sorry if I'm not, Douce or Henny? Yes, there was Henny. There was Henny at the bar inside the resort. There was no Henny at the pool bars. So it was three or two pool bars, and they had no Henny. You had to go inside to get the Henny. I did not see Douce. That doesn't mean they don't have it. I just didn't see it. Again, that could be a matter of, you know, if you upgrade, you get the special bracelet, and you know, you get the special liquors. I'm not sure. I didn't really see too many people with bands on, which made me think that a lot of people didn't upgrade, or they, you know, it was just regular. On the beach, I did notice that a lot of the public frequented the beach with us. Now, other resorts that I've stayed at in the past, there was no public allowed. I kind of liked it, and then I kind of didn't like it, because I felt like it made it too busy, and then sometimes you couldn't tell who the members of the public were and who the members of the beach were. But one thing that set it apart was they weren't allowed to sit on the chairs, the beach chairs that we were on. But it still made it a little bit, you know, uncomfortable, because now you really have to watch your stuff to make sure, you know, no one is, you know, trying to steal your stuff. They did have a lot of security because of, you know, recent incidents with the cartel. So there was a lot of security, a lot of police officers. I believe I seen some army guys at some point, you know, walking the beach. I'll touch base on the excursions really quick. I didn't do any excursions. It was not my first time in Cancun, Mexico. I was not interested this time in doing any excursions, but there's many to pick from. Now, they do offer, so like on my paper, when I booked, they offer instant resort coupons. They're not instant resort coupons, because by the time they charge you, you're paying top dollar. So I didn't bother too much with any of that. I really wanted to use a spa at some point, because that was included in somewhere in my paperwork. I was able to use the spa. It was included. But once I got to resort, oh no, you cannot use the sauna. I'm sorry if I said spa, I meant sauna. I wanted to use the sauna. Somewhere along the lines I was able to do that, but when I got there, they said, oh no, you can't use it, it's an additional fee. So I said, okay, I'm not even gonna be bothered with that. So plenty of excursions. I opted out of them. I didn't want to sit down to discuss anything with anybody, because again, all they want to do is sell you. And I wasn't there for that. I just wanted to have a good time, and I did. Would I go back to this resort? I don't know. There was actually quite a few, there's quite a few other resorts I would like to try. I don't think I'll go to Breathless Soul again. But there's a couple other that I would definitely try. That's it, guys. That's my time. I hope I answered all your questions. My apologies for getting back so late. I am not a professional at this. I'm not internet savvy at all. But feel free to comment, and I will definitely respond. Thank you.